I hate the fact that black men don't never want to take you on a date to get to know you. And mind you, I'm talking to this white guy right now, and he's willing to take me to the movies or out to eat, willing to get to know me and see how it goes. And it's sad that black men don't want to do that.
How y'all be having babies and ain't never been on no date?
This is dark. This is dark, man. We live in a dark time, man. We live in a dark time, man. Talk about nobody wants to take you out on a date. Baby look like what, 6 months? Oh my God.
Date. That's what I don't be understanding. Somebody gotta make that make sense. What level of low self-esteem do you have to have where you willing to carry a baby for a man, risk your life and possibly die for somebody who wouldn't even buy you no food? Now, I told y'all about including all black women on your issues because you laid on your back and took D on an empty stomach. Don't put us all in that. Y'all don't be embarrassed getting online and exposing how low your standards are. You think it looks bad on black men? No, it looks bad on you. Because the first thing I did after you said that you ain't never been took on a date is that I went to your page and then I seen a baby. And I said, now how could that be?
I seen the baby in the hand. I seen the baby. I seen the baby. I said, this don't make no sense. You know, the Babs ain't bad for you. The Babs ain't bad for you.
How could one achieve a child with no date? How does one achieve that? Then you set up and brought up a non-black man saying that he'll take you to the movies and out to eat, but he ain't actually done it yet. Why are you talking about something that hasn't happened? You don't even know if that's gonna happen. Do he know you got a fresh baby? Because if I was talking to you and I knew you had a baby as fresh as you got, I'd send you back to your baby daddy and make him take you on a date. Right? You set up and had a baby for somebody who wouldn't take you on a date? Oh no, you need to go run that back and make that man take you out. At the very least, he still owe you a meal.
You know how diabolical that last statement was? At the very least, he owes you a meal. And he owes you so much more than that. You carried his whole baby. You know how insane that is? Only 40% of men will reproduce. You gave this man the biggest gift a woman can give a man. He didn't take you out on a date. How many chains he got? No. How many baby moms he got? Because that's the only way this shit makes sense. Because it's ridiculous. You got people out here having babies off a one night stand in big 2025, 2026. In situationships. You know what? First, you have to have unprotected sex. Okay? You let him hear raw. We get it, man. The raw, it feels okay, cool. You let him hear raw. Next day, plan B. No plan B. Damn, you're risky. Plan B's are expensive, by the way. I didn't know that shit. I said, look at the price. I said, okay. We still gotta do it, but damn. Okay, so no plan B. Okay, cool. Now you find out you're pregnant. Go do what you gotta do, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't religious, you're closer to a demon. Let's be for real. You ain't do that. Oh my goodness gracious. You could have stopped this at so many stages. So Pauline is her name Pauline? Anyway, she's back. Okay, after making that false allegation on Talil, she's back on the internet after, it's only been like a month. And she's apologized to black men, allegedly.
I'm about to play the video, but Jordan Pauly, who falsely accused Ty Lil of SA, hopped on social media to not only apologize to him, but black men, then tried to take it back.
It's out of emotions. We all say things we don't mean when we're hurt. I don't want anybody to ever think that that's something I meant. That's something I live by. That's how I feel. Like,
man, we don't want that apology, bruh. Did you forget what you said?
I don't like you black niggas. I really don't. I like white boys. This shit is beyond disrespectful to me and my moral compass and who the fuck I am. If you know me, you know me. And if you know me, you know I don't fuck with niggas like that.
Then you even told women that you wish the R wording happened to them. But then she takes it back and says she was only apologizing to black men. Just because after years you finally change your hair color does not mean that folks is just gonna forget what you said, shawty. Side note, make sure you join the Discord for the $50 giveaways and to know when I'm about to go live so we could discuss the situation. Shawty started feeling the blackball. Folks don't want to work with her no more. Now all of a sudden she ain't mean it. She love black people. Nah. Stay to what you said you like.
I understand the Tyler and Jordan situation because something similar happened to me back in 2022. I was talking to this African and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in your city January 31st. Let's kick it. I was like, okay, cool. I gave him my number and he was like, yeah, I just want to hang out with you for like an hour and we do a little Snow White. How much is that? I was like, oh, I'll let it go for about $400. He was like, oh, okay, cool. So I come through there, we start skating, and before I know it, I'm really feeling real euphoric. Like, I don't know what he mixed it with, but I was feeling super myself. I was feeling myself, like just really feeling myself. I don't know what happened, but all I know is I did not leave there in an hour. I left there the next day. Why is it February 1st? So I was like, oh, you played with me. You really didn't have to do all that. And I started feeling weird about the whole situation. I started regretting the whole situation. I was like, you know what? You're going to have to come up off of more than $400. And he was just like, nah, here's your money. And yeah, you got a dip. And I was just like, oh, you don't want to pay me more? And he was like, no. I was like, you know what? You ain't got to fight me. You're going to have to fight these allegations. So what I allegedly did is I went to the hospital, got a drug test, got an R kit. And I texted him and I was just like, hey, I felt really weird about that whole situation. I didn't appreciate it. And you know what? Since you didn't want to come off of what you agreed on, it's all good and dandy. Just know that there are going to be repercussions of what you did. And that man said nothing to me but this. This is what he had to say to me. I allegedly say all this to say, Jordan, you did all this to accomplish something, but you didn't execute it right. And Talil, this is a lesson. This is a lesson. To any young man getting a little bit of paper, this is a lesson. Be a good person. And keep God first. Fuck, nigga.
This is a demon. You ain't really got to do too much. That's a whole demon. Most likely one of Lucifer's favorites. You're telling me you were skating, but you skated a little too long, okay? You skated a couple days away. And because of that, you done false allegations, but it just worked?
So if you have some type of raging vendetta against me for me saying things out of emotions, we all say things we don't mean when we're hurt. I don't want anybody to ever think that that's something I meant. That's something I live by. That's how I feel. Like, no. I was traumatized and I was hurt. And I said some things I did not mean and I shouldn't have said. And I genuinely apologize from the bottom of my heart for those remarks. And yes, I'm gonna leave it at that. But Black people are phenomenal. It's Black History Month. We're gonna continue to break down these walls, get over these mountains, and do great things in this world. And, you know, we're God ordained, we're God's people. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that, okay? My kids are gonna be Black. My dog is Black. I'm Black. My mama's Black. My friends are Black. I love Black people. And I love Black men. Assalamu alaikum. Let's shake them! Shake them!
What the hell? She got cancelled and blackballed. All of a sudden, she turned to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X in one. Assalamu alaikum. Hello? Wendy ordained? That's crazy. You were just saying you hate niggas just the other day. Damn. You see, in this, like, streaming space, she probably realized that the only people that mess with her were, like, Black people. Yeah, and in the streaming space, they're very, like, inclusive. And they're very, like, you know, lighthearted and fun. And you coming out and talking about how you hate niggas, you hate Black men. Even the Black women in that space probably not going to mess with you because that's going to get them heat. The Black men definitely weren't going to mess with you. Now, look at you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the world is filled with so much hate already. I'm just making sure I'm doing my part as a woman of God and being able to spread love and being another shoulder to each and every one of y'all to lean on. Because, shit, life is hard enough, bro. Like, some of the people, the closest people I never thought I would lose have walked away from me. And I'm just grateful because I've learned so much in these experiences. God will put you in situations and do things for, you know, for your own personal growth and development, for you to just lean on Him. And that's exactly where I've been mentally. So yeah, I love everybody Everybody that's active in this chat that can speak. I love y'all.
When niggas do some like really foul shit and they just start bringing up God every 2 seconds. God. God. Why is that? Why is that? Only after you've done some messed up shit, people remember that they believe in God. Why weren't you bringing up God when you said you don't fuck with niggas? Why didn't you bring up God right after that? You tried to ruin that man's life because you were upset? Yeah, you should never, ever be accepted anywhere on the internet.
Asked him if he could come see me yesterday because I wanted to see him, and he was like, maybe. And then he texted me at 6:30 yesterday and asked if he could come and see me because he needed to relieve his stress. And I was like, what do you mean by relieve your stress? And he was like, into you. And I was like, no. And so he was like, okay. And then I said, what are you doing? And he was like, nothing. And I was like, oh, well, what's stressing you? Nothing. And then I said, go talk to your other bitches that I'm no help. And he just says, okay, and leaves. I hate all of you. All of you. You men, no wonder women don't like you. Because this is what the fuck happens on a regular basis after I was being told that I could trust him and to quit worrying and shit. And like, to actually trust somebody. Like, I said that, it's off the wall. Reassure my, like, what the fuck?
I want to ask you guys, is this a trait of a bad person? I feel like it is. When you experience something personal, but then in your rage, you want to make other people feel like how you felt. Because what the hell do we have to deal with this shit, bro? We don't know you. Why are you just bringing in men? You hate all of us? We're just chilling, having a good time, living our life. You're the one that got messed over by this one guy. And now you're just spreading hate to all of us, men. You trying to make all of us feel as bad as you do? Why? You're a bad person.
I read that 70% of divorce is initiated by women.
That is true. 73%, actually.
I think that statistic would shock a lot of people.
It would, but it's also widely misinterpreted and also very unfairly weaponized.
Okay, say more.
So it's weaponized by some people I really like, actually. Like, I think there is a crisis in masculinity and a crisis happening for men right now, and particularly boys, but certainly for men and their role in society.
Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this is a true statement? Do you think there's a crisis in masculinity, or are men just not as masculine as they once were, and this is just kind of like the new evolution of men? I would love to know how much, like, men being single, men not really wanting to have kids as much as they did back in the days, how much is that tied to their masculinity versus their finances? Are men's finances and their masculinity tied? These are all questions and discussions.
And because of that, there's all of these, what's called red pill space. And there's, like a men's movement, and it can be a healthy version of it, or it can be like a somewhat toxic version of it. I think I think that some men on the furthest extremes of the men's movement use that statistic unfairly to create the false impression that the majority of women who marry treat it like they went to the casino and they stocked up, and then once they were winning, they cashed their chips out. So they marry a guy, they have kids with him, they create a child support obligation, they watch him rise in success, and then they cash out and they get rid of the guy, but they get like...
So gold diggers, basically, right? You have a lot of men who believe women who get married are just gold diggers, and they're just getting married just to finesse them. I feel like that's really disingenuous. Most people, it's not really smart, but it is what it is, get married because they're in love. And that gets proven a lot of the times that, it isn't enough, because it's never been enough. It's a new concept, right? Getting married out of love. There's always been certain obligations or religious beliefs or, land, titles, deeds attached to why people got married. Now people do it out of love. And it's the reason why, in my opinion, the divorce rates are so high. But if you believe that women are just getting married to finesse men, then that's... it does happen, but let's be real.
the husband a la carte, because the guy still has to pay for the kids. He still has to pay alimony. He still has to pay her bills, but she no longer has to be with him anymore. And she can go off with a different guy and be happy. Right?
That is so not how I interpreted it. That's
so
interesting.
it's how it's been weaponized by people who would like to look to a person with a hammer. Everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
So to a person who's trying to be convinced that men suck, you can find evidence of men sucking. You think women suck, you can find evidence of women suck. Like I see this all the time.
Yeah.
And I even see it when I speak. Like people take one out of context thing I said about men and they use it to show how much men suck. Or they take something I said about women out of context and say, this is proof of how much women suck. And the truth is, I'm actually presenting a very balanced view where, yeah, we both suck sometimes and we're both heroic sometimes. The reality is that, of course, are there some women who weaponize the divorce system and process to maximize the return that they get financially at the end of a marriage? Of course. Yeah, we've seen it. It happens all the time. There are people who openly admit, like, oh, yeah, I got child support from 3 different guys and it's a very lucrative career. I've had kids with 3 different people and people are very open about that. Again, I think that's the minority. I don't think that's what most people, I think are just trying to survive. But part of the reason why women are in the position of commencing divorce actions, in my experience, is that men, I would venture to say that men ghost more than women do. Like men don't like the confrontation. Like men have a hard time with female anger. And I don't know that I blame them. As a heterosexual male, I will tell you, like female anger feels like it doesn't have a bottom. Like it just keeps coming. Men very often are conflict adverse.
Also like rejection. Also, men have a problem with leaving situations. There are a lot of men who would rather like push her to leave.
And just bail. Like I've seen a lot of men go out for milk and never come back.
When you say bail, you mean like just leave?
Just leave the marriage. Like they just leave. Like they just abruptly say...
Move to another state.
No, they might just move out. They just go, yeah, like this is over, I'm out.
And then the woman has to actually legally initiate the divorce.
Right. Those are all good points, to be fair. And when you are factoring in that 73% divorce rate, multivariate analysis, right? There's probably a lot of reasons to why women leave marriages so much. That's probably one factor.
This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let this go. This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone.